and welcome back from yesterday. Today is Thursday. I have to think about it because the Monday threw me off, but today is Thursday, and today we did lesson 12, session 2. So that's what we worked on today. It was still working with the fact family, and we also added something new, not new to us, but new to the fact family, which was using a number line to help us solve problems. I feel like the number line thing, it went pretty well. Some of the kids connected with it instantly. Some of the kids still kind of iffy on it, but I'm going to explain it again, and hopefully by them watching this video, it makes a little more sense, and them doing the homework helps to improve their understanding. If not, don't worry about it. If they know any other strategy to use, they can always use another strategy. But we're going to keep working on that number line regardless. So we're going to go ahead and get started because it is a kind of a long homework, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. So the homework started on page 259 on today, and it starts with an example. And the example at the top is some fish. And it says, here's an array of 15 fish. I didn't draw fish, but I did draw an array. And it says there are 3 rows with 5 fish in each row. So these are my 3 rows. Remember, rows go side to side, columns go up and down. So this is 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows. And then my columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that would be my 3 rows of 5. And it says, the fact family describes the array in the different ways. So they have a fact family. And this is the fact family they have up there. They have 3 times 5 equals 15 for 3 rows of 5, and altogether it's 15. And if you're not sure that it's 15, you can always put a skip count on the side, because if I have 5 in each row, I can skip count by 5s. So this would be 5, 10, 15. So you can always put that skip count to get you that total number. So 3 times 5 is 15. 3 rows of 5 is 15. And then they have 5 times 3 equals 15. Same number, same total. Then I have the division equations. Remember, for division, the first number in your division equation is always going to be your total. That won't change. That will always be your total. Now, the other 2 numbers could be your groups, then your size, or they can switch order and have the size and then the group. So this one has 15 divided by 5 equals 3, and then 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Now, these are called fact families. And the reason why we call them fact families, that's a vocabulary word. Ms. Newman loves using her vocabulary word. Fact families are multiplication and division equations that have the same numbers. These all have 15, they all have 3, and they all have 5. So they are a family. They are the same. That's why we call them fact family. And we call them fact because they are multiplication facts and division facts. They're the basic facts. So they're a fact family. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to number 1, because we're supposed to use this example they gave us to help us solve 1, 2, and 3. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, how many fish are there all together? Well, Ms. Newman kind of jumped ahead of herself when she went ahead and did the skip count. When I did my skip count on the side, I found out that I had 15 fish. So I'm going to put, there are 15 fish. Okay, now let's go to number 2. Number 2 says 15 fish swim in 3 equal rows. Okay, how many fish are in 3 equal rows? So if I go back up to the directions and Ms. Charted to Ms. Newman had, I didn't read the directions, and I apologize for that, guys. The direction says write one of the facts from the list above. So they want us to write one of the facts from this list to help us solve these. So that's what you're going to do for number 2. It says 15 fish in 3 equal rows equals how many fish in each row? So they gave us 15 fish in 3 equal rows. Remember, 15 is my total. Totals, if they give us that, that means division. So that means I'm going to be looking at these two because it's a division problem. But the thing that's going to tell us which one we're working with is the next number. It's at 3 rows. Well, that would be 15 divided by 3. So the number that I don't know is the 5. So this would be the division equation that I would put here. So I would put 15 divided by 3 equals 5. So then it says, well, how many fish are in each row? Well, when I look at that, the answer or the quotient, another vocabulary word, that's the answer to a division problem, the quotient is 5. So that tells me that there are 5 fish in each row. And to double check, because numbers loves a check, I can count to make sure how many fish I have in each row. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my array matches my quotient I have here. So the answer here is going to be there are 5 in each row. Okay, let's go to 3. 3 says 15 fish, okay? That's my total again. So automatically my mind goes straight to division. And we've already used one, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be the other one. But let's not just go with that. Let's make absolutely sure. We're going to keep reading. So it says 15 fish swim in rows of 5. So 15 fish and 5. So this one has the 15 divided by 5. So this will be the division equation that we're going to put here. So 15 divided by 5 equals 3. So the question says, how many rows of fish are there? Okay, so if I look at my rows go side to side, remember that. So they want to know, if I look at this, I have 1, 2, 3 rows. So that means my quotient should be 3. And when I look at the quotient, it is 3. So again, my equation or my division fact matches my array. So that just gives me a check to let me know that that was the correct division equation. So now I can answer a question. The question asks me how many rows of fish are there. I can put there are 3 rows of fish. Okay, and that would be it for number 3. Okay, let's keep moving. I have number 4 over right here. So I'm going to read it. Now number 4 is something totally different. It doesn't go with 1, 2, and 3. So number 4 says, you know that 4 times 9 equals 36. And guess what? We do know that because we've been practicing those facts and we know our multiplication facts. So it says write the whole fact family. Oh, we're doing a fact family. So that means I will be doing 2 multiplication problems and I will be doing 2 division problems that have the same numbers. Because remember, fact families use the same numbers. Okay, so it says use numbers 4, 9, and 6. Well, I wrote them here. 4, 9, and 6. So first one is a multiplication problem. Now it doesn't matter the order that you put your numbers because the numbers are going to switch orders anyway. So you can put them however you like. So my first multiplication problem, I'm going to start it out with 4 times 9, and of course we know 4 times 9 equals 36 because they gave us the product. And remember, product is the answer to your multiplication problem. So let's go ahead and go to the second multiplication problem. So all you're going to do is switch the factors. And factors, that was another vocabulary word. Factors are the 2 numbers that you multiply together. So I'm just going to switch my 4 and my 9, and I'm going to put my 9 first and then my 4. Let me move out your way right quick. I'm sorry. I want to hold you up. Okay, so now the thing that will remain the same, of course, is your product. The factors switch places, but the product stayed the same. So this is also going to be 36. Okay? Now we go to our division equation. Now what you have to remember is that, and I keep saying it over and over because if I keep repeating it, then you remember it. So for division, the first number in your division equation is always going to be your total. Well, the total here was 36. So that means my 36 is going to go first in my division equation. Now, the other two numbers, the 4 and the 9, it doesn't matter the order you put them in because they're going to switch orders anyway. So you can put them however you like. So for this one, I'm going to put the 4 first and then the 9. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. Now, for the second one, again, total goes first. So I'm going to put that first. But this time, I'm going to switch the order of the factors, or the numbers, 4 and 9. This time, I'm going to put the 9 first and then the 4. There we go. So now, I have my 4 fact families, my fact families with my 4 equations. I have my 2 multiplication and then my 2 division. And that is all you have to do for number 4. Now, we're going to go ahead and go to number 5. Okay, so number 5 is on page 260. So on page 260, it says, Sienna draws 18 squares in 2 equal groups of 9. So they have a drawing there where they have, and Ms. Newman drew it up here. I have 2, they say she did 2 equal groups. These are my 2 groups. And the word equal means that they're going to have the same amount in it. That's what makes them equal. And it says groups of 9. So there should be 9 in this group and 9 in this group. So let's count just to make sure. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is 9. And I'm going to count over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I do have 2 equal groups of 9. And it says 18 squares. So if I count all of these together, it would be 18. If you're not quite sure, remember, we can do a skip count underneath. Because there are 9 in each group, I can skip count by 9. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to skip count by 9 underneath. So this one was 9. And with this group, this does give me a total of 18. So 18 is correct. So I'm going to write the numbers they gave me. They told me I have 2 groups. So I'm going to put 2 for the groups. And then they told me of 9. So 9 inside of each group. That's the size of each group. So I'm going to put 9 as my size. And when we did our skip count, we got a total of 18. So 18 is my total. Now notice Ms. Newman wrote down all her numbers and she labeled them because remember, if we do that, then it helps us to know where the numbers go or what the numbers mean. So I really, really encourage you guys to label your numbers. When we're in class and we're reading story problems and we circle our numbers, I always ask you, what does this number sound like? Does it sound like a total? Does it sound like a group? Does it sound like a size? Because if we label things, it makes it easier to know where to place them. So they have been labeled. I have 2 groups, 9 for my size and 18 for my total. So now we're going to keep reading because Ms. Newman likes to go sentence by sentence because sometimes when you read the whole thing at one time, it can be a lot. But if you break it down sentence by sentence, it makes it easier. Okay, so next sentence says, which division equation does her drawing show? So they want me to write a division equation. So they gave us 4 choices. and we have to pick the correct one. Okay, let's do that. That is not a problem, because you know why? We labeled our numbers and we know what our numbers are. So all we have to do is find the division problem that has those numbers. And I think we can do that without a problem. So let's look at the choices. I already have them here because I don't want to hold you up. So let's look at 8. I have 9, so I do have 9 here. But then it gives me a 3. When I look over here at my numbers, I don't have a 3. So that means there is absolutely no way that could be my choice. So I am going to put an X on that because that is not my choice. Okay, let's keep moving. So this is B. B starts out with 18. Let's go to our numbers. We have an 18. So far, so good. Let's keep going. The next number they give me is a 6. Well, when I come over here to my numbers, I don't see a 6. So that means B could not be my choice because I don't have a 6. So I'm going to put an X on that one. Okay, no problem. I'm going to keep going. So for C, 18, let's go to look at our numbers. And when I look at this, there is an 18. So far, so good. We're off to a great start again. We always start off with a good start, but when we get to that second number, it just goes downhill, right? So let's look at our second number. It's a 2. So I'm going to walk over here, and I'm going to look, and I have a 2. So far, we're still good. Let's go to my third number, which is a 9. So I'm going to walk over here, and I do have a 9. So that means this division equation has all the numbers that I need. So it's looking like C could be my answer. So Ms. Newman is going to go ahead and bubble that one in. Okay, now let's go to D because I want to make sure C was correct. So if I look at D, it starts out with a 6. When I go to my numbers, I do not have a 6. So I know D could not be my answer. Then I put an X. So C and D was the correct answer. So the correct answer for that would be C. Okay, let's go ahead and go to 6. And 6 says, write 2 different division equations about the array. So they give us an array. And Ms. Newman went ahead and drew her array here. So, and they want us to write 2 different division equations. I have my line set up for my division equations. So let's look at the array. There are some things we need to know first. We need to know we're writing division. Remember, the first number in our division equation is going to be our total. So I definitely need my total. And then I'm going to need to know my rows, how many rows I have. And then I'm also going to need to know how many I have in each column. So those are the 3 things I need to know. So let's look at this. So first thing, let's start with our rows. I have 1 row, and rows go side to side. Let's remember that. 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows. So I have 3 rows. Okay, and I write it down so that I can remember. Let's go to the columns. Let's see how many columns I have. I have 1, and columns go up and down. 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, 5 columns, 6 columns. So I have 6 columns, and I'm going to write that down. All right, so I have 2 of the numbers that I needed. The last number is my total because I need to know how much I have total in my array. Well, there are 2 ways you can do that. You can count them one by one, but that's a lot of counting. There's a quicker way, and that's skip counting. So because I know how to skip count, I can see how many I have in each row, and then I can skip count by that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in each row. So that means I'm going to skip count by 6 on the side. So this will be 6, then 12, then 18. So I have a total of 18. So I'm going to put that here, 18 as my total. All right, so once I have all 3 numbers, all I'm assuming got to do is come over here and put them on my lines. And remember, first number in your division equation is always going to be your total. So first line is going to be my total of 18. That won't change. Now, the next 2 blanks are going to go for the 3, which is the rows, and the 6, which is the columns. It doesn't matter where you place them because we're going to do 2 different multiplication equations where we change the order of the numbers anyway. So it doesn't matter where you place the numbers at. So for my first one, I'm going to put the 3 first, the rows, and then I'm going to put my columns last, the 6. So my first one is 18 divided by 3 equals 6. Okay. Now when I go to my second equation, of course, first number is going to be your total. So I'm going to put the 18. And just like I told you, it didn't matter where I put my numbers at because I'm going to change the order. Now I'm going to change the order. I'm going to put the columns first and then the rows second. So I'm going to put the 6 and then the 3. So now I have 18 divided by 6 equals 3. Okay? And that would be it. And just to double check that you guys have it correct, you can always skip count by 6 until you get to 18 and see what you have, or you can always skip count by 3 till you get to your 6th finger and see if you have 18. You can do different ways to check your work to make sure that those are the correct division equations. Okay, let's go ahead and go to number 7. And we have our number line. I couldn't wait to get to the number line. I don't know if you can see, but I'm smiling. I could not wait to get to the number line. I love the number line. So let's go ahead and jump into it. It says, first they give us a story problem. I didn't write the story problem because I was going to read it to you guys. So it says, Chi has 24 trading cards. He gives away all his cards to friends. He gives 8 cards to each friend. Okay, so there's some important information in that story. I like to circle the important information when we are in class and label, but this time I'm gonna write the important information down and label. So when you're at home, you can just circle and label. So the first piece of important information is that first sentence when it said he has 24 trading cards. So I'm going to write that, 24 cards. That's important. And that 24 cards sounds like a total because that's the amount he has. He doesn't have any less, he doesn't have any more. He has 24. That's his total amount of cards. So I'm going to label this as my total. Okay, let's go to the next part of important information. So the next one says he gives 8 cards to each friend. Okay, 8 cards to each friend. Okay, now notice they had that keyword each. When you see that keyword each, that's usually a little clue that that number is going to be your size. So that 8 is my size. That's how much each friend is going to get. So I'm going to put 8 as my size. All right. So now they want to know how many cards does each friend get. So let's figure out how many cards each friend gets. So I'm trying to figure out the groups. That's what we don't know. We do not know the groups. That is our unknown. But we can figure it out. So this is how we did the number line. Now, Since we know that 24 is our total, we're not gonna go past 24 because that's what I have. So I can't go past what I have, what I have. So I have to stop it at 24 when I do my skip count. Now, the 8 tells me what number I'm skip counting by. So I'm gonna be skip counting by 8s, and I'm gonna stop when I get to 24. And we're gonna put that skip count on the number line. Now the bottom of the number line, this part here, is going to be for my skip count. You know how Ms. Newman loves a label, so I'm gonna label my my number line. So this is my skip count. Okay, so I have it labeled. Now Ms. Newman is gonna go ahead and do her skip count. When you start skip counting on your number line, you always start with 0 in this case. Sometimes you start with other numbers, but in this case, we're gonna start with 0. So I'm gonna start with 0, and then I'm gonna continue with skip counting by 8s. So this is 8, 16, 24. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Yes, there are more tick marks, but you can label those tick marks if you like, if you want to practice your skip count. But not to confuse you, I'm gonna stop at 24 because that was the total, and I don't want to go past that. But if you want to continue your skip count, please do. Okay, now pay attention. I know that I had each friend got 8, so I skip counted by 8s. The total amount that I have is 24. So that means I'm gonna jump now. So we're gonna do some jumping, and we're gonna see how many jumps we need to get to 24. You know, kind of like back when we were younger parents and we would do hopscotch and we would be jumping and all of that. Well, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump on that number line. We used to jump on that hopscotch thing. So that's what we're doing. So we're gonna jump, and we're gonna start with 0 because 0 is our starting point. We haven't done any jumps yet, so we're at 0. So this is us. We're here at 0. And I'm gonna start jumping till I get to my 24. So this will be 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, and I'm at 24. I'm now here. Okay, so I made it to 24. Now I'm just gonna go back and count my jumps just to make sure, because you know Ms. Newman loves a check. I'm going to make sure how many jumps I have. So this was 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, and I stopped at 3. So now I know that the solution, because that's what it's called on your book, and solution means the answer. The solution is 3. That is the number we were looking for. So you would put 3, and that's it. Okay, let's go to number 8. Number 8 says write 2 different division facts for the story. Okay, so the story is the same story. That's the story they want us to use with the trading cards. The 24 trading cards and the 8 friends, and we just found out that he has 3 friends. 3 people, our 3 friends, are gonna get 8 cards. So we have our 3 numbers. We have our 24, we have our 8, and we just found out 3. So that's the 3 numbers we need. I'm gonna write them right here. So 24, 8, and 3. Once we have those 3 numbers, we can easily just place them on our lines. So the first one, they want us for number 8, they want us to do 2 division equations. Remember, the first number in your division equation is always gonna be your total. I just like to keep repeating it over and over. So First equation, I'm going to do 24 first, because remember that won't change, divided by. Now, like I told you, it doesn't matter the order you put the 8 and the 3, because we're going to switch orders anyway, because we need to make another division equation that has the same numbers but different orders. So, I'm going to put the 8 first, and then it's going to equal 3. Okay, that's my first division equation. Now for the second one, the 24 will stay first because in division, the total is always first. So 24 goes first, then divided by, and now when I told you we can switch the orders, now I'm going to switch the orders of the 8 and the 3. This time I'm going to put the 3 first, and then the 8 last. And that's my second division equation. And that's it. That's all you had to do. Now, for number 9, they tell me write the multiplication facts that belongs to the same fact family. So these are my division equations for my fact family. And remember, fact family are the facts or multiplication or division equations that have the same numbers. These two had the same numbers. The order of the numbers might have changed places, but they're still the same numbers. So I have to use the same numbers, 24, 8, and 3, and now I'm going to create multiplication equations. So I'm going to put the 8 first. 8 times 3 equals 24. Because remember, now the total goes last, the product goes last. Okay. Now I'm going to switch the order of my factors of the 8 and the 3. So I remember factors are two numbers you multiply together. So I'm going to do 3 times 8 equals 24. And that's it. So I have my fact family. This is my little family, guys. Give them a hug. Ooh, that's the little family. So you have the division, and then you have the multiplication facts. So that's our fact family. Again, they have the same numbers. The orders might change, but they are a family because they have the same family. So that is it for today. If you have any questions about anything, you can send me a message in PBIS, or you can drop something in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys, especially in the comments. It makes me smile. It makes my day or my evening even brighter, because by the time I read them, it's kind of evening nighttime. But again, if you have any questions, concerns about any of this, I will be more than happy to help you. Just drop me a comment. I will see you guys on tomorrow. And you're like, Ms. Newman, but it's Friday. Why do we have homework on Friday? It's because that's the way the lesson fell, guys. I'm so sorry. But it's okay, because Ms. Newman got you. Ms. Newman will be here with another video, and you don't have to sweat. We're going to work that homework out together. Okay? So that is it. I will see you guys on tomorrow. Parents and students, have a great rest of your evening.